Good evening, everybody, and welcome to That's Good Pasta, our creepy podcast about creepy pastas. I'm Thomas, and with me, as always, is my producer, my tech boy, the scamp of That's Good Stuff, and his name would be.
Jared.
Oh, he got it! Thank God. Um, Jared, we've come a long way. We've come a long
Every
way.
time. I missed once.
No, I think you missed a bit more than that. Anyway, well, today we have a fun little experiment to go through today. It's called the Harbinger Experiment, and I believe it is by one Xeon J. Maybe he's a Gundam fan. I don't know. And Jared, have you heard this one before?
No, this is the first time.
First time. Wow. Um, I uh, I I listened to this a while back, but we'll get into that in a bit. So we're gonna go through a brief synopsis. This is a little longer, so I'm not gonna go into every single detail. It's about a 45-minute video if you look it up.
45, 48.
Yeah. And what version did I give you, by the way?
Creeps make pasta?
Creeps Mix Pasta. His
It's a
English.
hard name to say. Creeps make
It is
pasta.
Creeps Mix Pasta. That amazing British voice that he has. Fantastic. So this one starts off as kind of a journal entry after the fact type creepypasta, which I'm a huge fan of. And it's about a man who is trying to go through some of the things that he's been through. And what this particular thing that he went through was a life and death experience that he had while participating in what's called the Harbinger experiment. Now, the Harbinger experiment apparently was something that was initiated in the 1970s, and it's about this guy named Zimmerman, I think a Dr. Zimmerman, basically tried to have the corporeal and metaphysical world come into the physical world.
I'm the Lord Ogdoad, master of level 8 Shadow World. The willing vessel issues forth its pure essence. You must overtake the vessel as night must overtake the day.
And he was basically obsessed with summoning whatever was on the other side and bringing it into here. Now, he tried for a long time to get funding, but people kind of stupid. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. We're not going to give you money. He finally got funded. Now, where he got funded for was this tiny little remote thing or remote outpost in Alaska. It was the narrator describes it as basically a shack and then a bunch of tiny live-in quarters. But if you went into the shack and went down a ladder, it was very much like a bigger labyrinth and a concrete bunker. It was bigger on the below than it was up on top. Now there were 15.
He would always do well on the pitch, but then he'd be like, I dabble in the occult, and they're like, no.
And the occult, yeah. No. Basically, it's like the remember the Men Who Stare at Goats type thing?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like, oh, that sounds great. And it's like, what are you going to do? It's like, well, we're going to take a lot of drugs. Like, oh, maybe not.
It's like that dolphin experiment where they're living with dolphins and they start taking all kinds of LSD.
When attacked, pufferfish release a neurotoxin. In high doses, it can kill, but in small doses, it has a narcotic effect.
And the dolphins start. Well, anyway, so there are 15 scientists total besides the narrator and Zimmerman.
Is the narrator a scientist or is he?
Yes, I believe he actually was. I believe he was a medical doctor.
I always miss that part.
Yeah, it kind of skips over that. It kind of gets right into the meat of it. There are also a few hired private security workers. He was not quite sure why they needed security, but basically they have this massive.
Willie, yeah, what's that? Well, it looks like a giant Johnson
Underground bunker where they have these, I want to say, outcasts of society, people that wouldn't be missed, I guess would be is the best way to put it. And Zimmerman basically locks them in these bunker doors, and then he has a speaker system installed in each of these rooms. And while the scientists were all like watching, there's also like cameras and stuff too. And while a cat, while the scientists were all gathered around and watching this like experiment go down, Zimmerman decided to mutter incantations into the into the microphone into the room, and this apparently.
What are you doing over there?
What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
This basically set off the subjects, and they started freaking out. There's like, what's like the woman started like blood curdling screams and stuff like that. And basically, the subjects started to go unresponsive. And so they're like, Zimmerman's like, we're just going to watch for a little bit. Well, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. So Zimmerman decides to send in the this private security guys into one of the women's woman's room, and basically it does not go well for the security officers.
Is this when the music
kind
starts?
Yeah, basically there is this. Well, that's a little before that, because they could hear like from the monitor the song. Is it "Living in the Sunlight" by Tiny Tim?
Yeah.
Famously from the SpongeBob episode where he has the that's it, right? Where he has the spatula.
Yeah.
The
That's what took me out. I was like, because it's kind of a horror trope right now, and
yeah.
I was like, oh god, okay.
Well, especially in the video, he actually has it playing but distorted. Well, honestly, I thought the editing was pretty great in that. But anyway, so basically, the security guys try to see.
I like when it's like, and then it got louder. Living in the sunlight.
Living in the sunlight. So the security guys try to go in, and it just doesn't go well for them, I guess is a good way to say it. They get mutilated.
The narrator's used to gore, but this was on a different level.
It's on a different level. So after that, the the patients decided to leave their rooms and basically start slaughtering everybody inside of the facility. And the narrator narrowly escapes basically getting mutilated by climbing up the rung ladder and then shutting the door behind him. He's like, nope, nobody's getting out. He can still hear the screams and the music, and it ends with this. It's like, I pray none of you will ever discover the truth. I pray that none of you will ever have to see the evil I have seen. I pray, or I hope all of you live in ignorance of what lies beyond the veil of what we can understand. It's here now. I can feel its black eyes burning into me as I could all those years ago. I am as much to blame as Zimmerman is for the monstrosity that is now free to roam the world. Even I was not the one that created it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. So
some Russian
basically,
sleep experiment vibes.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So basically, they summoned a Dybbuk from beyond the grave.
Oh, he's fixing a Dybbuk!
And it decided to possess these subjects and pretty much kill everybody inside the bunker. And then the narrator just kind of yeeted out of there, and now he's being driven mad by the Tiny Tim music.
Who just had a video about a Dybbuk box?
Meat Canyon, Papa Meat.
Yeah,
which I think is funny because me and you watched that movie a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we're just like, it's pretty. Nope. Don't touch the Jewish box. Just don't do it. So Jared, what did you think about? I know that was kind of not a great summary, but what did you think about this one?
I like parts of it. Parts of it I didn't really care for, like the whole Tiny Tim song. I wish they used something else. I think it's a little long. They could have condensed it a bit. It loses me at some parts.
It seemed to kind of almost repeat itself over and over again. Like I
Yeah.
remember I was on the treadmill listening to this, and I kind of spaced out, and I was like, I think we're like it's like 12 minutes. I'm like, I think we're in the same spot almost.
Yeah, I listened to this
So
3 times for this, and I missed
dang.
parts every time because I'd zone out when he's describing something, and then I'd be like, "Oh, I gotta listen to it again." So I think it
it's
could have been
definitely
condensed.
yeah, I think it's definitely overwritten. Now, I will admit that this is actually this is well written. There's
Yeah.
not like a lot of I want to say cliches, but everything does make sense if you go through it. And
There's none of that amateur writing, I guess.
this is not the brooding star.
Yeah, the melodramatic kind of writing.
Yeah, it's just the only problem with this. It's really dry. Like
Yeah.
it is super dry. But the actual premise of this is pretty cool. Like this reminded me a lot of the Russian sleep experiment. And weirdly enough, do you remember Half-Life, the Black Mesa project?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this reminded me of. Was like an underground bunker. Scientists dabbled in something they shouldn't have, almost like an SCP type thing.
Kind of reminded me of Martyrs, if you've ever seen that movie. How
I haven't seen that one.
there's scientists trying to figure out what's on the other side of the afterlife and kind of
Don't do it.
unveil
Don't do
the
it.
secrets.
Just don't do it. Just die.
You haven't
Just
seen that
die.
movie?
Mm-mm.
I recommend it.
Is that's not the French one, right?
It's French.
Oh no, I have seen. Okay, is that the one where
Did
they
you watch
peel
the
skin off
remake?
the woman?
Yeah. Did you watch the remake
Okay.
or the?
The original, I think. Okay, I have seen that one. Did she whisper something and then the woman goes crazy and shoots herself?
Yeah.
Spoilers for Martyrs, by the way. Yeah, this kind of reminded me of that. It's just it was very dry. It wasn't. This should have been a lot shorter, I think.
Mhm.
So, I think it kind of loses a lot of its charm and just the length of it. The biggest thing I have to say for this is that I think the actual quality of this video was pretty great. Like there's the editing for it, even the music, even though it's Tiny Tim, and I know that's not the most terrifying thing in the world. Because again, when I started hearing it, I went right back to SpongeBob. So, not super scary, but I like the premise of this. I just kind of wish it was a bit more compact.
Yeah.
And so yeah. What else do you think about it? Did you have a favorite part?
Probably the part where like Tiny Tim does come in the song and then it like swells. I like how the video was well made and like how they the sound production, how it started off pretty low, you didn't even notice it, and then it's pretty loud.
They even had like screams and stuff in the background, and I was at the gym listening to this. I thought those were people like in the gym.
Yeah.
Then I paused. I was like, "Oh no, that's in the video." Wow.
I thought it was my apartment complex, so I had to pause, and it was the
Yeah.
video.
Well, I mean, that's pretty good editing, honestly. I think that was. I think the video itself kind of overshadows the story.
Yeah, and then I didn't like the part with I've seen gore before. I'm not a newbie to it, but then that guy just and I
Yeah,
was
it got
like,
torn
oh.
apart. Yeah, or the security detail got. Well, no, there's a security detail, right?
Yeah,
Okay, because then you had like that one woman that was like torn apart in half or whatever by the entity.
yeah,
So, which I think is kind of my favorite part, where it actually gets exciting, is when the entity breaks out. And when he's talking about like I went up the rungs of the ladder, and I swear I was gonna get dragged behind or dragged back down. So I liked that part.
it's like running through your house at night.
Yeah, exactly. Like you gotta get to the bedroom and shut the door. Yeah, but I don't know. Like it had a lot of promise, and I think it could have been condensed a little better.
It's not
but-
bad. Like we've had bad episodes on here, or bad reading or stories on here, and this one was definitely not bad. It was just like if a doctor did write it.
Yeah, it was a little too technical, I think. So, but I do recommend this one just in general. Like, I remember, so the first time I ever listened to this is actually back in DFW, and I had to do an overnight setup for a show. And I needed something just to relax. I was at my apartment and I couldn't go to sleep or whatever, so I just put on some creepypastas, and I distinctly remember listening to this one before I had to go. I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. And then I went to a massive hotel. I'm just like, oh god, it's a bunker.
And then you heard Tiny
yeah.
Tim in the hotel, and you're like,
where'd you do this? Yeah. But no, this was a good one. I like this one. Not my favorite at all, but this definitely was not a bad one.
Yeah.
So,
right. I'm always a fan if they don't get ridiculous with the writing and just kind of cringe.
Yeah. Again, this also could have just been. This could have been way better if it was a lot shorter. So
yeah.
But it's not Baraska length, but Baraska has like a huge story. But this one
keeps you engaged the whole time. This one kind of drifts.
Yeah, kind of drifts a bit. You're just like, what's happening? The hell? So, but yeah, I think that's all I got for this one. What about you?
Yeah.
Short, sweet.
Yeah.
Unlike the story.
Did you have something else for next time, or?
Possibly. I'm trying to get. So the deep sea diver one that we did, the Confessions. There's supposedly a sequel to it, but I'm having trouble finding it. But I think that's what we're going to try to do next. So, Did you have one?
No, I haven't looked. So no.
Well, possibly deep sea diver. And sorry about the wait, by the way. It's been kind of crazy. We've been busy. I'm back in school, and it's just nuts. So sorry about that pause. By the way, we didn't mean to. But
Thomas's fault.
Yeah, pretty much. It's exactly my fault. So that's my bad. So anyway, all right. Well, that's all we got for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure you listen to the video and give us a like, subscribe, that kind of stuff. Leave a comment. We like saying hi to you guys. So that's all we got. So everybody, stay creepy out there. Bye.